Welcome to the Fandom Outpost, your podcast for all things pop culture.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fandom Outpost. As always, I am 1/3 your host. My name is Mark.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Bob. Hi everybody. Happy New Year from the three of us.
Happy New Year.
Starting off 2026, covering the part 2 of the Stranger Things season 5, which would be the episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8 is the finale. So we left off last time with our other previous Stranger Things episode with the sorcerer, and now we're going to kind of cover the last 4 and I guess primarily the finale, because I think that one hit the most for me at least, and we'll see what you guys think.
Well, Jim, everybody out there, so Jim said this to me in text, and we were talking, and Jim sums up America at this point, where he was like, I am afraid we've come this far, and I am afraid they're not going to stick the landing. And that was Jim's comment a couple weeks ago. And that has resonated the entire time with me. It has resonated as I'm watching. In fact, it resonated so much that my wife was, shut the fuck up and watch. Because I was very critical of little things that I got a feeling like this wasn't done by the Duffer Brothers. Like, it was so solid. And I'm like, who wrote all this?
Well, I think
You're talking about the finale?
Well, I'm kind of talking a little bit about everything, you know. I mean,
season?
Yeah,
this whole season. We'll get into that, but before we do, just want to remind everyone to please like and subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate that. So do a little subscription down there. Subscribe, please, and if you like
nothing.
it, like it. What's that, Jim?
So it costs nothing, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. No fee.
He had a finger roll, you know, while you're already on the computer and stuff.
We really appreciate that support. But yeah, let's get into the season, the part 2, because I know we kind of have been keeping apart on talking about this part 2 of the season between the three of us to kind of save it for the pod, as we say. And
folks,
the
that's our catchphrase, by the way. If you don't know that about us,
we get started on something, it's like,
ooh, boy, do we ever!
Stop talking about it so we can talk about it.
But the 5, 6, and 7 was a little, I don't know if you want to say disjointed or just had some issues, I think. And I was really worried, and we all, like Jim had mentioned, about sticking the landing on the finale, and I was thinking about that a lot going into it.
See?
And
you couldn't help but not think about it. That's the problem.
And nowadays, it's been a while since a series has stuck a landing because of various issues, like bringing in characters that haven't been around much, and it starts to kind of water it down, and so it's really, I think it's tougher nowadays because people are really critical of a finale. Is it going to hit all the bases? Is it going to make you feel the way you should feel? Is it going to do justice to all the characters?
Side note, really quick, I do feel emotionally there was a lot of good emotional beats. I do.
Yes.
I was invested.
I wasn't going to be a supporter.
Yeah, I was invested in a lot of the emotional beats. I guess, really quick, I have an editing tip for the Duffer Brothers. If the first, it's 4 episodes, right? The first 3 episodes, if you took those episodes to resolve your character interactions and let the final episode roll instead of sticking those into the final, it wouldn't have broke up kind of the plot or the flow. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Right, we cleaned up old business so that we could finish up.
Yeah, but they threw old business in like too late in the game. Like it was coming into the
sprinkled throughout.
Yeah, the 15th round where you're like, "Oh my god, this is it." And it was like, "Oh, okay, let's derail everything for a conversation about this."
It begins to feel rushed because we have to hurry up and address all this stuff.
It does.
Now I got to say, behind this last season is the specter that most people have of the ending of Game of Thrones,
Oh my God.
which is universally unliked. Let's put it nicely. And so people were worried. They were absolutely, and the time off between the seasons is a big
Yep.
concern. And
Yep. So last episode, folks, Jim had pointed out, I don't know if he did it on the air, but he made a really great observation. That was, no matter how much you wanted to get into it and you kept the flow going and stuff, it was very hard not to be distracted by their age.
right.
That still affected me in this. It still did. Like, it was really tough, Even though, like, a lot of guys had acne and stuff, I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's a makeup choice. Like, I'm not sure, but it's like, it was, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I bought some of that because I'm like, hey, we all remember that as kids and stuff. But I was like, okay, it's still, some of it was like, Lucas was incredibly distracting for me. Like, he became Lorenzo. He was such a bean sprout.
Right.
And shot up there.
And they gave him extra terrible hair.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I don't know what that
Yeah,
choice
well, I think
was.
the hair was trying to de-age him a bit and
Yeah.
put him
Oh,
into the
man.
time more.
Yeah,
but
I
Sadie
get that.
Sink, did I say her name right? Sadie
Yeah, you
Sink.
did.
She did look the same. So she,
Right.
it doesn't look like she aged out, except the early ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
When she was like 7, but she kind of maintained her same look throughout. Although when she got in the chair, she looked younger. In the cave thing, she looked
Oh.
more adult Sadie Sink. So I'm like, what is
Right.
going on with the makeup people? Like, what's happening? Maybe it was the braids? Like, I don't know. So, wow, that just...
Her hair was down in the
Cave?
cave,
Yeah.
and then when she had back, right, I looked like she got younger. That's
Well,
what I
because they
thought, too.
braided up and she just was the chair. And I was
Yeah.
like,
She-
okay, and
yeah.
stuff. First of all, folks out there, my favorite character, I loved her, brought in the early season with the shit brother who had an amazing arc with her and the
Right.
loss. Like, that was just amazing. And I guess I get it that she had to be sidelined, but to me, I'm like, no, we have too many characters already. This is convenient.
She kind of peaked in season 4, I
Yeah.
think, and then they were having a hard time finding something for her to do.
Yeah.
And then once they saved her and she was in the wheelchair, it really became more difficult to figure out something to do. So like, hey, let's put her with
I do
with
give them kudos
with Jane.
for putting her in the wheelchair, though. I mean, she's
Yeah.
been in the coma.
But then
for-
she gets sidelined in the finale. It's like she
Yeah.
gets
Let's
caught
talk
at the radio station, and then like you don't see her till graduation. Or
Oh,
whatever.
and folks, this is just my biggest nitpick. I'm glad he said that. Jane, not Jane, the
Get it right,
girlfriend.
Max?
Yeah, no, well,
Oh,
Max
Vicky?
and,
Oh.
and
we're all over the place.
well, Max is with Robin's girlfriend, and I'm sorry,
Vicky,
I apologize, Vicky.
Vicky, yes.
How, in the matter of seconds, did she get Jane? Did she get? Oh my God. Did she get Max and that whole fucking wheelchair hidden behind that panel in
the secret panel?
seconds into
That
the
she just
secret
found the-
panel? And that's one of those things that I said off camera earlier, folks,
That's
that my wife
movie-
was like,
movie
shut
magic."
the fuck up and watch.
So speaking of sideline, for me this particular season, I felt that all our main characters were sidelined for Holly Wheeler. And it
Yeah.
became the Holly
Yeah.
Wheeler show, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
I was a little
Came
worried
back
about
for
that.
me.
It was a little
And-
Corey Cunningham from Halloween Ends. I was getting a little
Right.
some
And
bad
it was-
vibes on a new character being installed real quick.
and it's certainly not the actress's fault. She did a great job, but it was just like
Yes.
they
Right.
foisted her on us, and the main characters that we were concerned about were all, off to the sideline, and she had to carry the main narrative of this.
That's an excellent point that Jim just brought up. Like if you look at, yeah, it was the Holly Wheeler show, and the other dudes were there for action-based side quests. Like,
Now we're talking
you know what I mean?
about the prior 3 coming up to the finale, right? Kind
Right?
of the
Yes, we're
3
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah. But he's right. Everything revolved around Holly. Like, it really did. Like, what did
Yeah.
they do? Like, I became more interested in the Henry Creel story, part 2, of all of that. You know, versus,
Right.
oh, we're going to put some guns in these guys' hands and they're just going to do all the action stuff. You know, they get to go do all this stuff. You know, one of the highlights being Will, I guess. You know what I mean? And of course,
Right,
they
they
save
brought
that,
out Will
you know,
to be
TV.
main player.
Yeah, magic that they save it for the, you know, the split to make sure you're coming back to watch. Bullshit. If you ask me, I hate that, you know. So I just, and I don't have a problem with Holly. I think that was fantastic. Her stuff is fantastic. But to start that so late in the game,
Yeah,
you know,
we should have had some sprinklings in previously. I know they go, oh, look at this scene. She sees this. People go back to the old. That's like, no, that's
and I
not.
get that where she's like, I went off to talk to Mr. Whatsits. Okay, those are good sprinkles, but boy, it went up to 11 when suddenly the kids
No pun intended.
were gone. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize I did that. Oh my God. I was making a Spinal Tap joke, so, you know, but holy cow. Yeah. Oh, rest in peace, Rob Reiner, too. Holy
entire
cow.
season did give us delightful Derek. So
Yeah, and thank God, because he helped a lot.
he's the levity that we needed.
He's the best line of the show, hands down. That second time running in that cave, he turns around and he flips off Creel, talking, you can suck my fat one. Dude, I fucking died. I'm like, this guy is my hero now, you know? Because all of a sudden it was like, we don't know what to do.
Thing to say, too.
And we don't know what to do with Derek, so we're going to threaten him, so he's kind of like, you know, he'll keep quiet for a little while.
Yeah, like here's a horrific image of your family murdered because I catch you.
Because Nikki, I got to bet my wife was like, if he isn't the guy that is suddenly on Team Holly and be like, you know what, she's right. All you guys are dickheads, you know, like,
right.
You know. And first of all, we went to school. Now I don't know, maybe it's a different time, but all those kids like jumping Holly and beating her ass.
Yeah,
that was like that's a movie thing, dude. No kid has that kind of courage. Like she was some of the monster. They don't want to like beat her ass. First of all, you smack a kid that hard with whatever Holly had, I'm like, oh my God, that kid's in a coma. You know? Yeah, come on, Duffer Brothers. You can't turn it into that type of 80s action film with they're supposed to be in what? Junior high at the most? Maybe I don't even think they were in junior high.
No, they're grade school. Yeah, I didn't have a playground in junior high. They're in grade school.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, dude. Holy shit. That was too much for me.
They really played up the Holly as the Alice in Wonderland / Little Red Riding Hood. You know, she
/
had
Carol Ann from Poltergeist.
Well, she had a little cape and she'd run through the woods and, you know.
Right. And I haven't read A Wrinkle in Time. And, you know.
I didn't either.
And it's, you know, it's referenced in Ted Lasso. So, I mean, that's the book Roy Kent gets. So.
Well, that god-awful movie that was made, I keep hearing, you know, so it's like maybe you should just read the book instead and stuff. Although I'm a huge Arthurian fan, so every time they kept saying Camazotz, I was thinking Camelot.
Camelot, right.
You know, and I'm like, oh, that's really throwing me for a loop.
Wrong?
Yeah.
So let's talk about first. Let's talk about a couple of, because everyone had a side quest, it seemed, and each little group had their little things to do. We broke them up, and that may be a fault of the part 2 of the season. But how about the Nancy Wheeler and Jonathan and
right. So they addressed
that triangle.
Yeah.
Right.
So Nancy and Jonathan got to hash out their relationship that they shared just because of shared trauma.
Right.
And people were saying that it echoed them being on the Titanic door.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
The unproposal. Right.
The unproposal. And I do, you know, congratulations for them giving Nancy, you know, her autonomy.
Yeah. By the way, Nancy is the, what do you call that? Final girl type of thing. Like that was
Ripley?
her.
Oh yeah. She's definitely based off.
Yeah. And I know they want Holly. We wanted Holly to shine, but like Nancy, I felt that there was a subtle hint when her brother was like, "Can I get a gun, please? Like, look at you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, right. I was like, "Yeah." I mean, my God, you know, that's a flare gun, dude. Okay, who doesn't know what a flare gun is? But you know, so I liked Nancy's character. By the way, did you guys see those Discover commercials with her?
Right.
Yes.
I never saw the.
Never saw the flamethrower. I kept waiting for it, but I was like, Jonathan has the flamethrower. Is she going to take it from him? that's got to be an outtake. It's got to be a cut scene somewhere, you know.
That's a really well done scene in that commercial because like, it's too good to be.
Well, it looks like it was
yeah.
from the mid break where they were fighting all the Demogorgons. That's kind of what I felt it looked like. So I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, I was looking for that scene too, and it never appeared. But
so I kept waiting for it.
They resolved their trauma, and then
and that's an '80s trope. I like that. We're about to die.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Something about the. I mean, the one fault I would have with this, I don't know if it's just in this part 2 of the season, but whenever it came to an end of something or a scene, there would be this long dialogue. And I was just like, oh my God, how much time do you have to talk about all this stuff?
Right. Yeah.
It was like almost every time there was like a little mini resolution to a story thread, there would be like this long discussion. I'm like, you really going to sit there and talk while this is happening?
So the only one I buy, sorry, Duffer Brothers, the only one I buy with sincerity is the walk with Jonathan and Steve, because they're walking.
Right. Yeah, they're
he's
doing
like,
something.
Yeah, he's like, just because I hate you doesn't mean that I want you dead. That to me,
but that's at the very end though. So they have to go.
But that made sense.
Skip that. Yes,
you know what I mean?
That one made sense. Right?
That one made sense to me. Especially her running up and saying, hey, lovebirds, you know, because they were slowing down. I got it.
Yeah, right. But it almost became kind of here we go. We're going to have a long,
that's what takes you out of it, I feel, you know.
There's a little too much exposition going on there, right?
Yeah. A lot of the time, this season felt like a caricature or like I'm reading it in Mad Magazine, you know. Just the way things were, I don't know, worded or just presented. We did get the Dustin and Steve resolution of their...
That was nice.
And that was good. You know, that one involved Eddie, and that one worked real good. And
I think it hit the emotional beat that Bob was talking about.
That it needed.
That one that it needed. That was good. I can't lose you too. Like that was to me that worked. Yeah.
And I was kind of predicting that Steve might be the one to go because he really didn't have a place with anyone else in the mix. So I thought he might be expendable, and they really played that up with almost a commercial break, and then it comes back.
They 100% understood their audience. So.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, I didn't know until really late that finale was being shown in some theaters. I didn't know that.
I saw some reaction videos. It looks like it would have been fun to see.
Yeah, reaction of Steve. Yeah. Like almost,
Speaking of that, as far as that finale, having it be over 2 hours long, I think helped in a way because it gave a lot of room to breathe, which some of these episodes are, like you said, they're trying to do so many things with so many characters, and they don't want to get rid of any of their characters, as we see, because I thought for sure one or two might get picked off.
But Jim,
and it doesn't necessarily have to happen, but... As far as that final episode, having it be that long, I kind of felt like I could sit down, relax, get into it, and feel some air breathing within it. And I know I just said there's a lot of dialogue, but it kind of gave a little more room. And then as far as I want to get into after we finish this, about the coda, I guess, the final 45 minutes.
Right.
After, because I'm like, oh my God, they defeated, the
the
Mind Flayer, and there's like 45 minutes left. What's going to happen? So I kept thinking, looking at my watch.
Jim told us that, like, way back in the day, before we were even coming into all this, even part 1, where it was like it was supposed to be 2 hour each episodes. Like, I didn't know any of the time frame or something. I thought you had mentioned that, or at least the final parts were going to be.
It's funny. Everything I've read on this has been wrong. Every single thing I've read on this has been wrong.
Yeah.
Every time I read something, it's like, here's a breakdown of what every episode's going to be.
Yeah, that's what I think it was.
Not even close to that.
Oh,
yeah. Some of the early numbers were like, it's just how it's going to lay out. These are going to come out here, and they're all 2 hours long. And these,
so I was expecting that, and then I wasn't.
So should we get into the finale a little bit?
Well, let's see. Well, we didn't. Before we get there, we have to talk about the conversation that became a podcast, which was Max and Holly Wheeler and the escape from that dimension that the internet immediately, and rightly so, just because there was nobody watching that wasn't going, run to the door, right?
I know. I said it out loud, too. I was like, run!
And somebody I had seen on the internet said, you solve that by you make Holly find her door first, and then Max is telling her what she needs to do, and then Max's door opens and Max runs to her door instead of
Well, they were saving Holly, I guess,
Yeah,
for the finale
for the finale.
to, right, have to be saved, and then, yeah, and then
Right.
gather up all the kids, right. And then she becomes the leader with the kids, which was
Right.
kind of interesting. That was kind of fun. You know,
All right, so
she
before we leave
takes
this, is
over
there any
Max's
left
role.
on the table? We've got Callie, and the big question mark that was surrounding her, and then we've got Hopper. Everybody's eyes on Callie because something's going to happen and it's not going to flow right.
I got a lot of discussion about that coming up.
Right. Dr.
I gotta-
K, she's the biggest nothing burger that this series had, and what a horrible use of Linda Hamilton.
I got to point out how much, like last time, I was like, I love that they grabbed this, and I was just like, she's a waste, dude. They're doing nothing with her. Like,
Right. She just looks evil. We're just gonna make her evilly stare at people and slap around her subordinates.
I'm so
What happens to her,
confused.
though?
Thank you. All right, there it is.
I mean,
Like, why
what
did
ha-
they
she just
pack
gives up? That's it?
Yeah,
We're
do
done?
they just pack up and leave? Like, there's no, is there no repercussions? They were
Well,
in
that's
the
the other
town,
thing.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
well, we
The,
killed
the,
a
the
bunch
kids
of,
killed soldiers. I mean, that's the other loophole. I know there's many loopholes, and you got to overlook them and all.
black
But that
ops
one was
soldiers,
like
right?
they
So-
just killed soldiers, U.S.
dude,
soldiers, and
Hopper
there's no
was like,
recon.
pow, 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 pow,
Yeah,
pow.
well, and,
And
and Nancy pops out of the top of her transport.
Right.
oh
She's-
my God.
They're just mowing down U.S. soldiers, and it's like they're just at graduation. It's just back to life. It's like, I had to think about that after. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right. So
But,
that-
you know.
Repercussions.
there's
Yeah.
in the finale there are plot holes that Murray can drive a truck through, right? So
Right.
So since we're going to get to the finale, I can't think of
yeah.
any of the other things.
Well,
I think we covered.
Will coming out. That was the big. That was the big.
And that as well. The Will's coming out scene felt so clumsily handled or written from the people that gave us Robin's coming out scene to Steve, which was amazing. They did that really subtly and nicely, and those were the two characters, and it was.
Right.
And Will's coming out scene would have been much more powerful if we had Vecna taunting him, saying, "This is something that's in you that I'm going to expose, and I'm going to,
Exploit. Yeah.
and this is my power over you that I know your secret." And it's like,
Right.
I just think all of it, Bob already said it, so I'm not trying to rehash, but all of it was just shoved down our throats at the end. You know what I mean? Like, you
Right.
got, like, all of that. This is what I said for pacing issues. All of this should have been resolved in the first 4 episodes. And then just pull the fucking ripcord and let it go for the last 4. Just make it this
right.
action crazy fest. I mean, can you imagine if it Lord of the Rings style, that 4 episodes, those dudes were trying to get to the upside down Vecna thing? By the time they got there, we all would have been cheering, as long as it was paced well. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in the final 4, all the stopping in the middle of what is supposed to be the fight of your lives, I'm like, what the hell? Moving
yeah,
on.
it's. I'm thankful for the Robin and Will scenes, and those were well done. And,
But that's all leading up to.
But that's all leading up to.
Yeah, and so I mean, we could have had just a look, you know. He
Right.
didn't have to make this big dramatic speech. It could have been like, Vecna showed me that I was going to be alone and all this stuff, and everybody, you know,
And
hey,
then
you're not
Brandon-
alone. And then there it is. It's 30 seconds. And first of all, the fact that, like, I get familial stuff, but the fact that his brother was like, "You'll never be alone," stood up first. It should have been Mike. Like, he's like, "We're best friends." It should have been Mike. Mike was the
Right.
last guy to say something, and it was just like, and me. And then they all went.
Right.
I was like,
Right.
this is stupid.
And
then
then they
I'm
brought
here-
every single person in, even
Right.
people that just met him, or
Right.
you know,
And
it
Steve's
was
like,
a little
"What? I've never had dialogue with you in this series."
Callie, and it was like everybody was in that room. It's like it could have been more intimate, I guess. But
Right. And then to find out on interviews and stuff that, Noah and Mike, they had to talk to the Duffer Brothers and say, "Hey, Will and Mike need to have a moment to talk about it.
Oh my god!
And they were like, they said they had to really fight for that, to speak up and say that needed to be addressed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's too
That's
much
troublesome.
resolution. Yeah, you had to have too many resolutions, because if you didn't have at least some, we'd be having a
Right.
different conversation right now. We'd be saying nothing got resolved.
Yeah,
You know?
we would be torching it. So,
Yeah, or else we'd be like, well, in the 18 months, they must have had him off screen. There you go.
right.
So,
All right, we ready
before we
for
get
the
into the coda part, because that's my biggest thing I want to talk about,
Sure.
is the 11, whether she dies or not.
Oh my god, we really going
And-
to talk about that? Oh,
Well, wait, we haven't even talked about the fight.
Well, the fight was so resolved so quickly and easily, right? It was kind of
guess
kind of
I'm
became
gonna-
anticlimactic
I
almost.
guess I'm going to give my opinion of the fight. I hated it. Like
The big,
Really?
I guess the mind flayer.
Who is? Oh, the mind flayer. That
Yeah, the
I
mind
was talking
flayer
about
fight.
Vecna.
Oh,
Which one
no.
are we talking about?
Well, Vecna's after, right?
We'll
Once
start
they
with the mind
disable,
flayer.
Yeah,
they
Mind Flayer-
disabled the mind
yeah,
flayer.
Mind Flayer worked. I played Dungeons and Dragons, so Mind Flayer
That
worked.
100% felt
Yeah.
like a
To
Dungeons
me, it was a
and Dragons
dragon,
camp.
and they all knew the
Right.
game and they knew how to play it. So that
You
was
know,
awesome.
Oh, that's cool. See, I don't have that perspective, so it's good
And
to
the
hear.
influences, it's like the Vecna's mind flayer lair looked like the Dark Crystal. I clocked that right away.
It was great.
And then the inside of it looked like Krull from what the Beast layer looks like
Beast
from
Layer,
Krull.
yeah, it's
yeah,
great.
100%.
It's probably somebody didn't have a makeshift weapon of a
So,
glaive.
oh yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, dude. Like, let me tape these knives together. So I can
And it was, my only question, and it's just, how did everybody get to the top of the canyon in 10 seconds? So, in order to fight the
That
mind
was
flayer.
quick, yeah. Well, distraction. We have to assume time
Distraction,
passed.
sure.
And I'm not sure. I missed this. What's the green stuff that they created and that they were slingshotting around?
They were, they were like,
Because it was the flammable stuff. I got that rather quickly.
yeah,
Like
it's
they threw that. And it,
sticky kind of napalm.
but I was like, where did they get that? What was that? Was that the stuff in the
We didn't get an
barrels?
80s, a real 80s suit up montage with them getting ready to go.
Yeah, I kind of skipped over that.
Yeah.
They kinda
I
skipped
kept
that.
calling it trioxin, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
So,
oh my god.
but everybody looked great. Nancy was in full Ripley 2, aliens
Right.
mode.
Had the hair and everything.
11 looked great, when she, like all her training was coming to, she was doing all her training moves that she had.
I do like her jumps, dog. I like her. The
Oh, she looked great when
behind her.
she
That's
when
a
she came in.
superhero thing.
She went in the
that is-
tear that.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
she looked
that's
very
nice.
good when she tore him open and then kind of flew in that hole and then landed.
That was
did her
that was
superhero
a cool
landing.
shot. Yeah,
So
that was cool.
kudos to that.
That's your Game of Thrones Battle of the White Walkers.
Right.
That's
right.
what that was. Like that
Yeah.
was so satisfying. And now let's do all the other stuff.
Well, we have
The
to get
Vecna, and it's Joyce's redemption, which was nice. I thought that was a nice
With the
moment
dullest
that
axe
kind of
on the planet.
reflected on.
I can't wait for the memes of that where it's like you're just going to hear sounds going chunk, chunk, and like the person doing the meme is going to be like waiting for the head to fall. Like it just was writing itself like 17 times. I mean, oh
how
my
much strength
god.
does Winona Ryder have?
That's
I don't
to swing
know,
an
dude.
axe?
But come on, man. It's
That's
an
probably
axe.
probably the most realistic beheading that there's been.
Probably,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and he's probably all weird, like
Sinewy.
wood and vines.
And I'm
all
glad
that
they didn't
crap.
give him like this kind of Vader redemption kind of.
that's-
like,
Oh, see,
Yes.
that's
Except they
I
did
wanted
kind of.
that. I
They,
wanted
they
that.
offered. They offered it.
Yeah.
They offered
Yeah.
it and he spit it back in their face because
Yeah, so I was like, all right, dude. I guess, yeah, you made your bed.
Will really held his hand out for that. Said it wasn't your fault. He was
Right.
like,
Yeah, I
Give
don't
them the olive
think they
branch.
could have done that because I don't think anybody who doesn't have the insight that a lot of those characters did, they would have never accepted that we redeemed this dude. Like they just
Right.
would have been like, "Are
Right,
you
he would
kidding
have,
me?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Will
So-
would have been the only person who knew.
But somebody, I mean, unfortunately, I did watch some things prior to a lot of this, and somebody called it about the Mind Flayer being the villain the whole time because he showed up in season 1, and you didn't have
Right.
Vecna, and
Right.
and I really appreciate that. But I guess you could have had Henry helping them against the Mind Flayer. Like, that's
Right.
okay. Henry, though, not this Vecna monstrous thing. Like,
Right.
Right.
like
Human.
if somehow Henry came through all that and just disappeared when all of that disappeared,
Right.
Yeah.
But that's me. I like a villain who gets redeemed. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Well, I did like that they stuck to him. He stuck to his guns and died with
Yeah.
it. So I'm gonna be okay with that. And seeing all the seasons of all their trauma and what he's caused is
So do you guys feel that
cathartic.
Like, Elle, like, did she really have her moment against, like, in previous encounters, the one where she blew him apart was far better than what she did this time. Like,
Right.
Elle was kind of sidelined. She didn't do anything with her powers. She didn't
Well, we
hide
had the-
them. She didn't do a lot. It was just training so I can do this.
She did against the army, the bad guy, the
She
army
did have
guy.
a little bit of
Yeah.
a moment
Yeah.
where she was, when they were rescuing her and Callie were rescuing the kids, and Callie was using her projection to hide them.
Yeah.
She was kind
That
of
was
acting
cool. And they were all
acting-
inside. I get that.
Right, and they were acting as a distraction.
Yeah.
She was acting as a distraction. And
Right.
So they
I'm
had
still
that.
confused. I'm still confused why Max was inside there. Did they bring her in for some reason?
That's what we go back to what we said earlier, that they needed Max to have her something to do because she
Yeah,
didn't
because,
really
like,
have to do
that's-
Because
anything.
she knew the way. She knew the way.
Yeah,
to
she
where,
could
where Holly
navigate Vecna's mind.
And they
yeah,
actually
back to
said,
the
you know, it's
50s.
mine in and out. She's like, shut up. So that is, that was okay. Yeah.
Because she's like, "Why am I back here?" You know.
I just think it would have been better to be like, you have a connection with Holly. You need to help with this. Like, that's, to
Right.
me, that's a little bit better. But
You're the
yeah,
only one
okay.
that can show us where he's.
I don't know. I just wish somebody else, I wish somebody else would have stepped up with Vecna and not superpowers. Like, I don't have a problem with it, but he fucked with so many people. Like, I don't know. I guess Will being outside and doing that, like I would love, like, why couldn't he be standing next to 11? Why does he have to be outside the cave? I don't know. That really bothered me. Go, you do this, I don't know. I would have loved to see him standing there and her falter and he help her. To me, that's okay. You know what I mean? Because it did come down to, like, well, it started with us, it'll end with us. Okay. I don't
But
know.
we had to. 11 was trying to. Her whole premise through this whole thing was like she is ready.
Right.
And she has to be, and you have to trust her to make her own decisions.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, she's ready to move
was the
on with
whole-
her career, is what it was.
The whole through line. That's the whole through line with Hopper. What did you guys think of the Vecna? I shot L in the tank fake out.
Yeah, that was good because
That was
good.
really well done.
he
I
he
believed
reached
it.
out to different people and was like, "This would,"
Right.
do. And he called him Jim too. I was like, "Ooh, nice."
Yeah, getting
Like familial, not even whatever.
No.
He's like Jim. I was like, yeah,
right,
and he
couldn't
had
save
no-
pulled his daughter out of him. And,
Yeah, he has
and-
no other connection
Right.
with Vecna. Like, I think, that one visual where he's behind him was like I don't even know if these guys have ever really seen what that dude looks like,
Right.
Because he doesn't show up to everybody. So that's kind of cool, So yeah,
Do have to address Callie being shot, so that plays into the ending.
I can't wait for Bob to get up on this because that ending he's going to talk about. I'm gonna be quiet during the whole time because I really want to hear what he's about to say about
and
all that.
we had Murray, comes through and blows up the helicopter.
Yeah.
So that
He had
was
his moment.
Murray, the
Yeah,
unsung
and that-
hero. Yeah,
The
And
other
then-
teacher has his little moment. The
Yeah.
yeah.
is it the math teacher?
Mr. Clark.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, Mr. Clark. Yeah, and Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings reference when he used the
Yeah.
word melon. That's
Melon to open the door.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I was like, oh my god, so I love that.
Yeah. So, real quick about
right.
Elle, whether she's dead or not. That's a tough one. I like the fact that they leave it a little subjective.
Right. That's good.
Normally
Yeah,
it kind of
yeah.
bugs me, but I like that fact in this, the way it is.
I think that's how they wanted it to end, though. Obviously, so that
Sure.
you could draw how you want it to be concluded.
Right. Yeah, if I give you an open-ended ending, then I'm not at fault for anything. That's just how you interpret it.
Yeah.
Duffer Brothers
So-
going, no.
Yeah, the only part that kind of makes me go, well, maybe she is dead, is the whole Callie. Is she projecting Elle before she, or that whole did she really die, Callie? And then did she have time to project Elle in as with the abyss is blowing up? And
So I hate to say this, but since you've asked, I'm like, they're both dead because that implies to go down Bob's road implies there's conversations that we did not get to see as an audience, and that's a cop out.
Right, like you're going to stand over there, and they're all going
that's
to watch
a plan
you.
that we have to support by not seeing the dialogue when we saw the whole. We got to stay behind. They put such emphasis on that, and suddenly we're supposed to feel that they had a hidden conversation that this is what we're really going to do.
Right.
Like, how do we know that Callie didn't teach Elle how to project herself?
Yeah, I
Right.
don't.
Elle's nose wasn't bleeding.
Yeah.
Right, so
during-
that's on the
during
other
that. So that's
other
on the
gauge
plus side.
of the plus side, of the alive side.
She couldn't use her powers right there because she was in too close a proximity to the kryptonite.
Well, they say that close proximity, and then I don't know, because why was she so strong that she wasn't affected by it? And I don't mean like not affected, meaning like she just stood there. You know what I mean? Like if that was real, why wasn't she going, ow, ow, ow? Because it was so debilitating
Right.
in every other scene, but not that one.
Right.
I don't buy it.
There
I
may
don't buy
not
it.
be a definitive answer, right? I guess is what we're saying.
So Nikki
The question
fell
is,
kind of on one side, and I fell on another. And I'm going on record right now to say I prefer that she sacrificed herself. That's a stronger ending for me for that character.
What does this all sound like?
Mark doesn't believe.
This sounds like religion, doesn't
Stop!
it?
Stop! Stop! I know,
Mark
I'm-
doesn't
No, I'm saying
believe-
it does remind me of some of religious belief. You have
Sure.
to either you believe or you don't believe.
right.
You know, what I mean, if it makes you feel
I
good,
didn't-
you
I can't
believe. If it,
Oh, did you? Sorry, my wife just interjected. She agrees. So she agrees with my assessment. Sorry.
Nikki doesn't believe? Jeez.
That was great, by the way. Like I loved that they chose to be like, I believe. That's a phenomenal scene.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
emotional,
that's what I
saying
wanna-
that this is what we want to believe.
that's
Yeah, so
what I
let's
want to
get
get
into
to.
I
To
love
the
that.
coda. So
Because this coda is it really hit me pretty hard as
damn.
far as that coda, because it kind
What
of
is the
related
coda?
to
What are we talking about?
after the mind flayer is destroyed, after
yeah.
Just
Vecna's
talk about
dead,
the
and we
ending.
come back to
The 20
1989
endings.
and the graduation,
Like Lord of
and Steve and what they're all doing, and
right. So Robin
Yeah.
gives us a wrap up as a visiting DJ.
Right.
right.
Kids graduate. We get to see most of the cast there.
I didn't like
Susie's-
that, but
Susie is
Did you-
conspicuously absent. Max was able to graduate after being in a coma for a couple years, so she must have took some summer classes.
Little Easter egg. If you,
I
if
get
you
poke
notice,
some holes too. So yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of holes.
Yeah,
I don't
there's a
know
shot-
why.
there's-
I'm going to say this. I don't know why we didn't get a time jump that wasn't there.
What was it, 18 months or
Yeah,
something?
like why are we not in college or something? And there's a Hawkins just rebuilt, so there's a special
Ceremony
ceremony.
or-
Yeah, like that made more sense than an actual graduation. You know, that I just can't buy that. And I'm gonna go cite Bob with like they killed troops and stuff. Like, how is nobody watching these guys to be like, yeah, have your little graduation, and then it's off to Leavenworth for 25 years?
yeah,
like what? And there's no M to protect you.
yeah.
Well, somehow they have to, wave away a Black Ops operation that
Yeah, it didn't exist. It was off the books.
So it was nice to see Dustin has his moment.
valedictorian.
That was kind of
Yeah.
predicted by, was it Eddie?
that
said that.
references Eddie, does the Eddie
References
flip
Eddie.
off, and tells him all the
Yeah, that was
Which
great.
was his
Fat
nice
one.
moment.
Right.
He,
paid tribute to, and everybody was shocked. And
I do love. I'm not gonna lie. I just kept was on the edge of my seat. That is Hopper gonna have an adult conversation with Mike, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
Mike was missing, so we got to have that
Yeah,
conversation.
and the pseudo dad figure of a mentor, even though he really wasn't. He was trying to be it to all the kids, even though they were
Yeah.
split at a lot of times.
Right.
But I like that he went out there. I really do. There's just something that, like Bob says, it just
he
really
was the
touches
one that went to
home.
look for him. Right.
Yeah, he's like, I thought I might find you here. And I liked that Mike was like, everybody's okay with it. I'm not. That
Right.
was great.
Right.
Like, the fact that he was so angry about, I don't understand why everybody just wants me to get over it. I'm like, that's good. And then for him, okay, now I'm going to bring up my daughter, but I'm not going to bring up my daughter.
Right. I'm going to tell you where I was and tell you your two paths you can choose.
Yeah,
So
that's good. Yeah, to me, that's really good. I enjoyed that a lot.
so, yeah. them kind of wrapping it up, it really hit me as far as that time period. I mean, they even played Sweet Jane, I think it was, by the Cowboy Junkies, which was a song that was big for me back in my college days, early 90s. That really hit hard.
Yep. I love that
Prince songs too, the When Doves Cry, Purple Rain, those hit pretty hard.
I think those were shoehorned in. Those were
I don't know, man.
Oh, my God. So if we ever surface those pictures of Bob trying to be Prince back in the day, you'll know why he just made the comment that he did.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love Prince, but the use of those songs, the fact that outside the show was made such a big deal about how they have not been utilized, in stuff like it just was it was too gimmicky.
They haven't really used like popular pop songs, I guess.
Yeah.
They've used a lot of alternative kind of first wave stuff in the past, and this was kind of I think one of the first big pop songs.
Right, but it didn't hold sway. Like even you saying Sweet Jane, I got to agree with. That's one of those things that I think it really touched you. Purple Rain and When Doves Cry really, not on that level, not on the emotional spectrum that Stranger Things was supposed to be about. You know what I mean? That's just that's like using Let's Go Crazy, as a pump you up moment, when we're all about to fight Vecna or something. I don't know. I didn't buy that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
that was
Prince.
more in the battle part of it all and the remembering Elle kind of thing.
Yeah,
but as we get into the last of the finale, that was the show being about letting go of your youth, I guess, is kind of what struck me.
Right, rooftop conversation at the radio station was well done.
It was kind of based off of Reality Bites, too.
Normal,
everybody moves into a completely different direction.
Right. And getting emotional in that, I felt that wasn't hard to accept. Seeing people
all those tears were real tears in all those scenes.
Well, it's like
was crying.
I don't know about you guys, but it was like when we were at Jim's cabin in 1989, ironically.
Right.
And Mark was going off to Florida, I was going off to Illinois. And it was like, hey, we're gonna get together every month. We're gonna call. We're gonna do this. Right. Yeah, we're gonna do that. And then you don't. And then I think they're not gonna meet in Philly. It's just not gonna happen.
Right. Life is gonna take over and stuff. And
right.
I will say that
bittersweet about it.
The emotional impact, and I didn't share this with anybody in my family and stuff. But remember when my mom passed away?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Bob made the comment about my hair because we hadn't seen each other in forever, it seemed like. And then we all got Lisa. Remember that restaurant or whatever it was?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Bob was like, I'll be the dude with white hair. The fact that he had to be like, I'll be this guy with white hair, like we wouldn't recognize each other.
You won't recognize me, yeah.
Yeah. So that hit harder because I likened it to that.
Sure.
When we finally saw each other again after all those years, I was just like, oh my God. Like it did. I was just like, I'm going to be quiet over here, because that's how I related to that. So Bob is absolutely 100% correct. But that's us. Like,
well,
if you're in your 20s watching that, I don't think you're going to grasp the emotional impact.
Well, we've had the distance.
But you will.
When that time in your life comes. But you will.
When that time of your life comes, when you think you're going to be with all your buddies.
Or if you're in the 20s and you're missing out on your teen years or stuff like that. Yeah, I guess, you could draw a connection to it. But I think as we get our age, it's more impactful because we realize what has gone by.
We've lived through some of that, and I think the Duffer Brothers connected with that, at least for me.
Not the battle against Vecna, folks. We didn't live through that.
Say it again, Joe.
The youth is wasted on the young.
That's
the saying, right?
Well, Bob said we lived through that. So I said, not the battle of Vecna, folks. We didn't really do things like that, stuff.
But we could have, because people go. I always see the comment. And it's like, did people in the '80s really just let their kids run around? And it's like, that answer is yes. There were no cell phones.
Okay.
I could be fighting interdimensional forces and demonic evil as long as I was home by when the streetlights were on.
Well, even in our 20s, you'd just be like, if you're living at home, you'd be like, well, I'll be home, don't be home past midnight,
Oh, my God. Absolutely.
Like, all right, I'm just going out, and then I'll be home by midnight. Who knows where I'll be.
I'm going to say this not being Joyce Byers, but maybe being Holly Wheeler's mom. And my mom would never be that cool. But the point is that my mom used to ask, I'll never forget this. And I almost didn't know how to answer this, but she was like, well, what do you guys do all day? She couldn't
Literally
grasp.
ride our bikes everywhere.
And I was like, I don't know. Like, my response was like, hang out. Like, that was the answer. And she'd be like, well, what do you mean by hang out? Like, I'm like, I don't know if she was looking for something nefarious, but I would like, well, I don't know, like leaning up against this car, and the bikes are on the floor. Like, I didn't know how to explain. It was cool.
I mean,
And suddenly 8 hours have gone by and you're like, oh my God, I am so hungry. I better get home. Like, what the fuck?
we gotta stop at Taco Bell or whatever.
Oh my God. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I get in arguments. I'm not going to lie. I get in arguments that people love the show that are younger than me, and they just want to. Well, you don't have the cornerstone on this. I'm like, if I lived in the '80s, I have the cornerstone on it. I don't give a fuck what your childhood was like. Right. If you didn't grow up without a cell phone, without internet, without all of this other stuff, you might relate to some of it, but you can't relate to the time period itself. It just doesn't exist.
It is what it is, right?
So what I like in this too is that this is the first show that was a current production that was aimed at our youth. Like, we grew up with like the John Hughes stuff, which is,
but that's a mirror
of the time. That's the mirror, right? Of
like
the time.
Freaks and Geeks, maybe a little.
Right, Freaks and Geeks, maybe a little bit.
Wasn't that the '90s though? Like, isn't that that's
so? This for us
early
is
80s.
Like our previous generation looking back at like The Sandlot or Stand By Me,
Right.
and having
90s
that
kids.
resonance with those.
Yeah, you're right. That boomer generation resonated with Stand By Me so much. Like, I
right.
didn't really.
Or Happy Days, or things that were or
holy
American
shit,
Graffiti.
dude! My mother talked about the Cars and that Happy Days era,
Yeah,
and I was
100%.
like, really? She'd bust out a picture of that car, and I'd be like, Jesus, Mom, we could have been rich. Like, why'd you get rid of that car? But she talked about those drive-ins a lot. So that generation, you're absolutely right, Jim. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And then the part of them sitting around playing maybe their last game.
All right, before we get to that one, 'cause that's the big one. So before we get to that, let's wrap up Joyce and Hopper. They get to Enzo's finally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Good
and
dinner.
I was fine
Hopper
with that.
proposes.
That was nice moment.
That's
finally.
fine.
Hopper proposes, but he's like, "Is that the ring that Jonathan left on the floor in that room that Hopper was in when he was hiding from?" It looks
I don't
exactly
know,
like
right?
it.
Yeah.
And
I
did you
Go
catch his
ahead.
job offer?
Yes. So
Okay.
I want to talk about that for a hot second. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know why I prayed. I know it would have been too much. It's too much to ask, but I would have loved if you would have mentioned Amity. Like, there's so
sure.
much
Yeah, you were
connections
waiting for
between
that,
them.
yeah.
And that. I was.
When he's talking about a beachside town, you're like, "It's coming, it's coming."
I swear
and
to
it's not.
God, dude, I was like, oh my God, are they going to do this? But I know why they couldn't. Like, I get it. You know what I mean?
Was it the
But-
Montauk thing?
Yeah.
So Montauk
yeah.
is it is what this series was originally called in their original pitch Bible, and then they were given notes to, hey, maybe just change it to a fictitious town, and so there is a urban legend, real project, don't know. Anybody who's
urban
done watching
legend,
this, anybody who's done watching or listening to this, Google and go find some podcasts on the Montauk Project, which was supposedly, there is a base in Montauk with a giant antenna, and it's all closed off, and it's military, and it's like, verboten to go there and stuff. And it was alleged, the legend is, it was alleged that the government was kidnapping runaway kids and using them in scientific experiments on, I want to say astral projection is not the right word, remote viewing, which is what Elle does when she's in the black upside down with like the water on the floor.
Yeah.
And then at some point in that experimentation, they opened a rift that let a monster out that destroyed the facility. And it's many layers underground, and it's a super fun hoot to listen to if it's false. I hope it's not real.
Yeah, right? Can you imagine?
But that's where they extrapolated Stranger Things from.
Yeah. So I thought it was a good nod to that. If
It
you
was a
knew,
fun nod.
You know, even if you didn't know and you're like, well, that's a weird name that he suddenly pulled up. Let me Google that. You would have been like, whoa, yeah. So,
all right, now we can get to the game.
Right. And this is back to our L discussion of if you believe or not.
I want to say something. So time has passed, and I have a frame of reference for this. So I want to point out to those astute viewers that Vecna was no longer their challenge. Like, they didn't use him as the bad of the new campaign they're playing. Stravan Zorvich is a vampire from 2nd edition, and it's late 80s into almost the 90s now. That's that edition of the game. So you have to assume that, I'm not saying it's a plot hole, but that character, there's strong connections that why it's not Vecna anymore. Like, there was questions that I had read. It was like, oh, why didn't they just use that and they finally defeated him and stuff? No, because they've moved on to that now. That campaign is done for them. Right. The Mind Flayer and the Demogorgon and all that. So to me, I was like, that's awesomely amazing that even them playing that game, they've, in the reflections in their real life in the show, they've moved on to a new villain. And I thought, well, that's cool. It's a vampire now, so let's get a Stranger Things vampire story. Whatever. I mean, so I just wanted to mention that. And if playing the game all these years, that was very cool to me that they did that, because I was like, it was a little bit hokey. I was like, oh, and he defeats everybody. I was like, yeah, here it comes. Like here comes the big, wrap up. They're going to defeat him. Yeah. So I
Max's
thought
anger
cool.
was well placed.
Yeah. I think I like that, because I felt she was just angry at life. Like, it's not fair,
Right.
that kind of thing.
We go through all this crap for nothing, right?
For nothing,
It was a commentary on
exactly. I think so. Like, why did people have to? Why does anybody have to die or stuff like that?
And the fact that they pieced out of any graduation celebration to play D&D one more time, right?
Yeah.
Like
I like
the
that.
girl that
that's
invited them to
Dustin,
the party
yeah.
was the girl that blew off Dustin at the snowball dance.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for that. That's awesome. That's great. So it does show, though, that there's growth, and even the awkwardness of high school. Like, and I don't mean this in a gross way, but like, we're all going to get lucky at some point in our lives. As Tom Petty once said, even the losers get lucky sometimes. Right. So, like, you're going to grow, and you're suddenly going to be able to grow a beard, and be an adult and be cool at some point in your life, I guess. So I like that they did that. That was really important. I felt that they showed that he wasn't ostracized every single year of high school, because that's how, well, that's too dark for the comment I was about to make, but like, that breeds a certain type of person that comes back and does horrific acts. Right. And we don't want that. You know what I mean?
And then they asked what happened, after the campaign's over, what happened? Is that it? Where do these characters go? And then Mike extrapolates on that, and he gives each character a final story as to where their next move
I like
was.
that. Yeah.
That was really good. I enjoyed that so much.
Really
so I really like that. And I'm so happy that this is going to sound terrible. I'm just so happy that Max and Lucas stayed together.
Sure.
Because, I mean, the odds are that you stay with a high school crush is almost, you get one, you get one in, you get one in three right here. So, it's that 1 in 3. So, and I've only known 2 people, like Jim being one of them, and another friend that I would meet years later. So, that's their high school crush. So,
and there were, appropriate tears all around that table those were all real.
Right.
Yeah, you could tell.
For those characters.
He gets into the story of 11, right? Of what.
Right. They say.
Yeah, because they ask.
So we go around the table, and then Lucas and Max are together, and then Will moves on, and he finds people that accept him.
Yeah, comfortable in his own skin. I really appreciated that. Yeah.
Right.
That was
Dustin's
good.
doing well in college.
And then he still has time to hang out with, on adventures, and it shows Steve pulling up with the camper.
That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
It's continuing their friendship, and
I like that it was adult stuff. Like, whatever, we're gonna go camping. Like, that was cool.
Right.
It's like it wasn't something weird. Like, hey, dude, let's go grab a beer or something. I mean,
Mike tells his stories. He continues to tell his stories, and then it kind of comes out, and he's typing his stories on the.
They were like Stephen King reference. I'm like, why is it gonna be Stephen King?
Well, it felt very like Stand By Me in the very as the author is telling the story.
Right.
So when everybody puts their book on the shelf.
Put a pin
11
in that
is
storytelling.
Oh yeah, we get
quick.
the 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the 3 waterfalls for Mike to find her in the future? Do we think? Like, he's gonna search out if she is alive. Will he search out?
Was Google a thing? Like, where do you start?
It wasn't
Not for another 6 years.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, no, that. I mean, that makes sense. Maybe the first time
can use the
Google,
library.
where in the world are 3 waterfalls?
Go to the library
Oh my
like
God.
we did.
It's too bad that they didn't reference a place, like some obscure thing.
Well-
Like, we should go to Sweden one day. It's just really weird. And in the first season or something. I don't know.
Well, the 3 waterfalls is something. I guess something, right? To
Yeah.
hang your hat on, and maybe.
I guess. Yeah.
And if she is alive, then she's starting a new life and not having any fear of being experimented on and whatever. Can live maybe a normal life, and if we choose to believe that path.
And I like that Mike was the one that this is what I choose to believe. You don't have to be on my belief table.
Right.
I think it was cool that they all did, but I
they
like
all
that
went
this
around
is what I choose. I gotta choose a happy ending.
Then they put their books on the shelf, which was a very touching moment. I thought that's kind of like
putting your
packing it
childhood
up.
away. Yeah.
Putting your childhood away, putting the script away. Maybe
Right.
for an actor, each actor putting the script away.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of took that in multiple ways. So that was touching.
I do like that, and there's no way to get around that because she's his girlfriend. But I like that Max was included. I really thought she wasn't
And that
going to.
her folder looked very different
Yeah.
than theirs.
It had the shiny. I get it. But at first I was like, why is she there? Like she never. I don't know.
It wasn't an OG, right?
Yeah, and we've missed. Like, there's a conversation there about, would you like to play this game with us? Obviously it's off screen, but there is something that I was like, it's nice that they did include her. I think we'd be having a different conversation if they didn't. You know what I mean? Because people would say, well, when she joined, she was such a hard case, and it took a long time to fall in love with her. And then once you did, she was inseparable from them. You know what I mean? So I do like that.
So that was touching, and then the younger generation runs down.
Yes.
Right?
Passing of
Derek's
the baton.
sitting there oblivious the whole time, like, what am I doing?
As Mike is heading upstairs, and they
close the door.
Looking back.
kind of take over the next generation, and he's passed on the baton, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That was touching.
Well done.
I mean, it's
Those I gotta assume, because in the facial expressions of Derek, like, remember when he was like to Mike?
Yeah.
That weird
Yeah.
scene.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have to assume that all those kids were like, these dudes are legends in my eyes. Like, they saved us from something that my therapist is not going to believe for the next 30 years.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So, I think that having Derek down that base was like, I want to emulate what these guys were. Like, what made them tick? I don't know. It was very
get that
poignant
rush.
for me. Yeah, it was poignant for me and stuff, whatever.
And it ends on the door. Right?
Yeah.
The basement door.
Ends on the door, and then we see the player's manual for Stranger Things, and the credits roll over.
Oh my God, that may have been one of the best end credit scenes I've ever seen. I thought that with the Bowie heroes over that.
Yeah.
And
So
the
that's
artwork
why I said let's put a pin in that writing. Okay.
Yeah.
So my ending is that Mike telling stories, he would. So everything, this touches home for me, gentlemen. So this is how I'm going to explain it.
Right.
Everything that I play in my game is Mike Wheeler has a hand in it for 45 years.
Right.
So those weird stories, and even the ones that are modern times, Vecna coming around again,
Right.
he's the guy that eventually he helped Gary Gygax in TSR. So not doing like weird Stephen King novels, he stuck to I love this game.
Gaming.
That's why that player's manual thing was like, to me, I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, I loved that. You know, so that's how it ends for me, where he's like taking all this stuff and translating it to a game that he loved that others could play, not realizing that there's basis in fact of why we did this. That's an awesome ending. You could not have. That's my stick the landing, not the other stuff. That is like, that's awesome. So that's my final analysis of that thing. But, well, what do you guys think about that? I mean, how do you feel the ending?
Well, I'm not a game. I haven't, I'm not
Right.
a gamer that way,
Right.
so I didn't think of it that way. But I love the artistic nature of it, and Bowie got me again.
Right?
It was like it just like was perfect. It couldn't have been more perfect. It was timely. It was from the time. It was
Yeah.
relatable.
Didn't they say they
you
used
know.
that song a couple different times in the series? Like, I looked it up. Like, variations of it were used.
Oh,
That's what I read.
but it was an absolute perfect needle drop, and it all came down
I was
to-
satisfied with the ending. Watching, Will and 11 have their chat, in the Upside Down or in the
Right.
that
Ether?
and using using all the flashbacks of all the looking back and going, oh my god, they're babies.
Yes, I love that. Yeah,
that was like
so good.
It's like
So good.
That made me want to go back and start it all over again.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, I was like, oh my
So-
God, look at how young they are. It's amazing. Yeah, so.
So
You
I was-
literally
I was
did
happy
grow up
the
with
finale.
these
So
kids.
we grew up with them, and how lucky we are
Yeah.
that none of these kids' fame didn't claim any of these people.
Right.
Like nobody had some horrific incident, or quit, or still on the earth.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, there's an animated thing, Tales from '85, dropping. One of the things that concerned me, I even told my wife this going into this, is that I was worried that this season was going to be subservient to the extracurricular products that they're creating. Like there's a play
Right.
that's like a prequel play of like when they were all in Hopper and that '50s high school thing.
That's where the rock in the case is related from the play. I think I read.
And it's like, yeah,
that scientist that
like where did the
Henry-
rock come from, right?
Right.
And
That's
as a matter of fact, the guy that played the scarred
Scientist? Yeah.
no, the guy that played the scarred army lieutenant, he plays like Dr. Brenner in the play.
Oh,
interesting.
interesting.
So,
Yeah,
but I
those
was
guys
like,
they were wrapped up a little too quick. Let's just
it's
kill
like, are
all
we
the
are we
soldiers.
twisting an ending because we need it to fit this other product that we're making?
Oh.
I don't know, man. They gave us the scene of the rock and the smoke and all that, like in the actual episode. So I was like, no, there's a good wrap up for me. Like they showed how it happened. You're all done. I don't need to see anything. I don't need to have that fleshed out.
It's nice to have something to
Yeah.
imagine in your own mind,
A
right?
mystery, right?
Yeah, yeah. Why
Right,
do we have to
so-
know every little detail? Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
So
All
I
right.
was happy. I was happy with the finale. So it could have gone way worse.
yeah,
There's lots
Yeah.
of plot holes. There's no demogorgons. There's no demodogs. There's no what everybody's like, what happened to all the pregnant women? And it's like, well, that was
Yeah.
when Callie. That was like when Callie was first there.
yeah. That's bothering
That was
a lot of people.
that was
Did they all
Callie's
just die?
flashback.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but they said it's making the baby sick. It's making them sick. You have to draw your conclusions from that. And the
Right.
harsh
It was killing
reality
them. It
is
wasn't-
they
it
never made
wasn't
it.
it wasn't creating them. It was killing them.
Yeah, they never made it. So it's unfortunate, but we don't need to see any of that.
I'll always remember the finale for cutting through my cynicism of plot holes and
Sure.
actors being too old or whatever. They hit me right in the heart at the end, and that's what I'll always remember.
Yeah.
So I love that finale. As far as I don't know if I could watch it again, maybe down the road, but it's
I don't really return to stuff a whole lot. Yeah, I'm not sure.
but it hit hard, and I was surprised. It kind of knocked me back for a little bit, thinking about my own experiences. Like I said, back when we were around that same era, like '89. It was '89, and we were going our different ways, and we didn't keep in touch for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Three of us and our group. So it took a while till we got through adulthood a bit and settled down and reconnected, and then another 10 years or so to get to what we're doing now on the podcast. So
yeah, I'm not. I can't. Yeah, I'm not gonna go down.
Can't
that
add
road.
to that. No.
No, there's a lot of twists and turns that my life took. That on some I'm extremely proud of, on others I'm horrifically ashamed of. But yeah, I think everything has led me to this. So
everyone has has a road. Everyone has an experience, and everyone can relate to loss and redemption and reconnecting and all that fun stuff.
I think the problem is the majority of it, and I try not to dwell on it a lot because I have a really good. I like where I'm at right now, but you can't help, especially with you two knuckleheads. Christ Almighty, like you can't help but. I just got choked up.
Don't do it. I believe, Mark.
I believe.
Like you can't. Oh wow, you can't help but reminisce and like wonder about. Like there's some very specific images. And, all right, I'm done.
No, that's true. It's a feeling that as you grow out of childhood, you experience, and it's not easy, and it's life,
Well,
they kind of hit that on the head.
Yeah, so I look over and I see my little Stallone NECA, right? Like he's right there, and I'm like, I remember the first time I saw it with Jim. Like I think that's a reason Bob has really cemented this. By the way, when we talk a lot about our channel, folks, about what this does to provoke all these memories, this litany of.
You're reclaiming your childhood by.
That's what this is like.
And trophies, right?
Yeah, and I never felt that more than watching this. So I understand Bob's statements a lot more, even though I did. It's just they were hitting home a lot more. So I can't tell you how many times since all that, like not just this finale, but the whole the 8 that I've just walked into this room and stood there. That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where I'm like, oh. I remember Jim and I remember Bob and I. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
No,
so
anytime I come across stuff, collectible stuff or movie stuff, I mean, you guys are the first guys I think of. Like, oh man, he would really like this, or oh man,
I pepper you guys on the dailies with Instagram.
Oh my God, Jim is like, Jim has posted a reel to your group. I'm like, man, what's the new one gonna be?
10 minutes, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, here's a concept Prince figure. I'll send that image to Bob. He'll be all about that,
Yeah, folks, I wish we just had this. I wish there was a platform we could just constantly do this
Share
stuff.
the
Like
feed.
It's so funny,
Yeah,
because I'll be like, what
and you go,
is that?
Oh, there's a handful of
okay.
people I know that will get this joke or appreciate this or, can have this, understand this reference.
Right,
so.
right.
So
they think the same way I do, right?
I have to.
Wavelength.
This is my final thought. I have to end it like this. I watched for the first time in years, and I mean, there's double digits, just because I don't know. I saw it pop up on one of the streamings. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I watched Trading Places for the first time in double-digit years. And I patiently waited. Bob already knows where I'm going with this. I patiently waited, and I kept doing it. And Nikki ended up sitting down and watching it and stuff. And when the scene that Bob, we reference on the channel quite a bit, came up, I lost it. Like, as if a stand-up comedian's in front of me for the first time, and I just thought, wow, why am I laughing so hard? That's so funny to me, so, but I did. I waited for that flood of nostalgia to come back over me. And the first time, this son of a bitch back, was at the theater just talking that crap. So
Just constantly.
oh my God, dude. But it was. I was like, and I think that's what brings me back because there's no real reason to rewatch that again. I've seen it 150 times, but I just really wanted to be like, I'm going to watch it from start to finish to feel maybe what I felt like that again and stuff. And maybe that's the purpose of movies.
It's a warm blanket, right?
Yeah.
I did the
Right.
same thing over the holiday break. I threw on Empire Strikes Back, and it's just
Oh,
a warm blanket,
wow. Yeah.
and you just want to
That's
be
great.
comfortable.
The warm blanket of
it's-
nostalgia, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Of
And-
fandom. The
Yeah.
fandom blanket.
Hey, marketing idea.
There we go.
Our new segue is the fandom blanket where we only
Cover
talk
yourself
about
in the
good
warmth
stuff.
of nostalgia. Cue the purple rain, Bob.
Cue the purple rain and out. Well, we're not quite done,
No.
but
No.
well, we're starting up a new year, and
Yep.
we'll have some fun things hopefully in store soon.
Of course.
A
Always.
lot of good movies to look forward to. We got Michael Jackson in April. We got other things coming.
even I'm looking forward to that.
The Odyssey. We got all kinds of cool stuff coming.
Yeah.
So,
I just, I got thoughts on the Odyssey, but we'll save that.
well, I'll
for
save
another
them.
time.
Save them for the pod.
Save it for the pod, folks. There it is.
Join us on social media, on our Facebook and Instagram page. Please like and subscribe to this channel and this video, and please leave a comment about what you thought about our episode and what your thoughts on the finale or the season 5.
Yeah, Lisa,
your
I'm
thoughts.
looking at you, and this is not our friend Lisa. I got another friend Lisa that watches and listens to us religiously.
All right.
So how about dropping a comment every now and then? You talk to me about it on work every Monday, but how about one of those comments? All
I'd
right.
like to see too.
Yeah,
Jim and I'd
so,
like to see.
you
Come
know,
on, Lisa. You can do it.
yeah, Lisa, come on. I know you got
Judgment-free
thoughts on
zone.
this final episode. Put them down in the comments. You know,
Writing.
don't just inundate me for an hour at work.
Yeah. So we'll try to dig up some fun stuff and do some new episodes coming up soon. And I guess with that, we'll say thank you for watching this long extended episode. Until next time, I'm Bob.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Mark.
See you next time, folks. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.